Central New York, and hello, hockey fans all across the internet, and welcome to 315 Hockey Live, the show dedicated to hockey in Central New York. I'm your host, Scott Kimball, and we have got a fantastic show lined up for you tonight. Tonight, we are doing our big Utica Pioneers season preview show. Before I bring our first guest in, I'm going to bring our panel in. Sitting directly to my right, as always, our madman on the switchboard, it's Mr. Dave the Save Warner. Dave, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, Scott. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm in such a. I can't wait to get this show going.
I know.
I can't.
Well, let's get it going.
Exactly, because you know what? Not only do we have a couple of great guests tonight, but we're bringing in an old friend for this show. He used to be the co-host with us on our old show, Marty's Illegal Stick. He's finally back in the fold for tonight. He is the one, the only, Mr. Jeremy Roberts. How are you, pal?
Good. How are you, Scotty?
I'm fine, man. I'm fine. So what's going on?
Nothing. It's another day in the dream, living the dream.
Yeah, that's what they say anyway, right?
Yeah. Just somebody. It's my nightmare and somebody else's dream, I'm guessing. But.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, listen, we're going to get this show started. So like I said, this is our Utica Pioneers preview show, and we're going to lead it off with the men's team. And tonight we have got the face of the Utica Pioneers men's program. He is their head coach. He is the one, the only, the incomparable Coach Gary Heenan. Coach, how are you?
Hey guys, good evening. What's happening?
Oh, not too
What's up,
much.
Coach?
We're ready to go, man. We are ready. How about you?
Yeah, same. We're kind of bored. We're tired of practice, training camp, and we're ready to hit some people and get after some goals, and electrify this place the odd.
There you go. There you go. Well, before we get into that, how was your off season?
Off season was good. Yeah, the summer's great, and I've got kids that are 12 and 14, so they're in the wheelhouse of youth sports, and so we did a little traveling. We got a nice little cabin, and we enjoy that. So a lot of golf, fishing, family time. That seems to be too long, to be honest. Chomping at the bit, a couple months away, ready to go.
Yeah, I hear you. It's definitely there's that line where it's like, okay, it's time to get back to work for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So speaking of getting back to work, your Pioneers are ranked number 3 in the nation in the preseason poll for the USCHO. And you know what? As usual, you guys are going to challenge yourselves right off the bat. We're going to play an exhibition game this Saturday against, it's Potsdam. And then you go on the road to play the number 1 ranked Adrian College Bears. That's in Adrian this year. So tell us, what do you expect from this series?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice we get a tune-up game. Adrian's got an exhibition as well, and then they're the national champions. So we've always had a heck of a series with them. I think we last time we were at their place, we won 7-6, 7-6, both in overtime, come from behinds. Last year, as you know, we split here to start the year, 1-1, and that ended up being their only loss of the year. So we're two teams that match up very well. They're very well coached. It's a great little building they have up there. It's a lengthy road trip for us, but we all know teams seem to love road trips early, get guys in hotels, get to know one another, share some bus time, tell some stories, and just get together as a unit. So this has always seemed to work out well for us. It's a great series. They're a great hockey team, and they'll be raising the banner as we're there. They've got a big ceremony with the president there, and we've got a lot of alumni from Michigan, so we're expecting a good home crowd as well for us. And it just should be a great series, and I know our guys are really chomping at the bit because they really feel like we blew it last year.
Yeah, that's, you know what, though, you're right. That's always the huge rival right there. So, I mean, I know there are some teams that, will ease into the season a little bit, so to speak. Again, Utica diving right into the deep end head first. Is there an advantage to playing a very tough schedule early?
Well, with us, we have the challenge because, we play in one of the weaker conferences, so your strength of schedule, getting a little technical and into the weeds with you guys. To get national bids, you've got to have a strength of schedule. It's a major category. So if we didn't have these quality opponents, your Oswego's, your Adrians playing our tournament, we always have nationally ranked guys we host here. We wouldn't put ourselves in an at-large bid opportunity. So you've got to play these, and then the only opportunity you have is really Thanksgiving, the week before your season starts, and a week right after Christmas. So we're doing that. We've got Oswego in the Teddy Bear toss. We've got Adrian to start, and then we've got what should be 2 nationally ranked teams in our tournament at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that is, and you know what, you're right. You got to have that strength of schedule because if the voters are looking at it saying, well, they played a real easy schedule, that's not going to help your case at the end of the year. So you're right. And you know what? I mean, after Adrian, your UCHC season kicks right off because you're going to Stevenson, who is another really, really good team. They got votes in the preseason poll as well.
Yeah, I think Stevenson's going to be the team to beat in our league. I think they're going to be our biggest competition. Dawes is a great coach. He's won a national championship before moving over to Stevenson at Newman. And they return, they're a real veteran club as well. I think Wilkes will take a step back just with their graduation rate. But Steven should be right there. And then think about the miles we're putting on the bus. We're going all the way up to Detroit, an 8-9 hour drive, and then we're coming back and we've got to turn right around and take that 7-hour drive to Baltimore for another couple road games. And both of these are afternoon second games. So you're getting down there on a Friday, you're playing a night game. Adrian's at 8:00, turn around, it's at 3:00. You're gonna see who's in shape and who's in shape early here.
Oof, that's a lot of. I didn't even really think about that.
Yeah, yeah.
My goodness,
Coach, you did mention something about veteran. I noticed, not maybe for people that are listening, we currently do have a veteran club right now, correct?
Yeah, I think we're old, we're big, we're heavy.
Right.
We've got the experience. We've got that little bitterness. Where again, I think we blew one last year. We played well enough to win and just didn't get it done, but we weren't our best, and I think that's sitting with this group right now. This has been a hyper-focused group. Our practice habits have been good. Really, I'm blowing the whistle at practice. I haven't been able to blow it down and really get on these guys for anything. They've just been so focused on trying to avenge last year's really, really tough loss at home there. So we're excited to see what we got. I mean, to your point, guys, we're getting after it early on 2 big rough road trips. And, we've got to come away with some victories just in week 1 and 2 if we're going to see ourselves in that tournament this year.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. That's certainly a pressure cooker, no doubt about it. And Jeremy, you make a very good point that the Pioneers do have a very veteran-heavy team this year. Mm-hmm. You did lose some players to graduation, like a Brett Everson, Cameron Barkowski, Eric Holland, Jamie Bussell, Sean Dixon. But otherwise, you guys have got a lot of the core coming back. And so who are you looking to lead this team this year? I know you got your captains and your alternates picked, but who else are you looking to really contribute to this team this year?
Yeah, I'm probably the only coach in the history of Division III college hockey, maybe even Division I, that can say they returned 5 All-Americans. So
that's actually a good quiz question right there.
And I don't know if any teams had 5 All-Americans ever. So it's a privilege to have those guys and to have them all come back. Usually your All-Americans are seniors. Certainly we have a couple of those guys are super seniors, Kavanaugh and Allen, that are taking advantage of that COVID gift here. But, those 5 guys are certainly going to be leaders. And, a couple of those guys aren't wearing letters, but they'll be there. You got your Osmondses, your Monkoviches up front. These are veteran guys that are used to winning championships and scoring a lot of goals. And, on the back end, Dobe and Allen were your All-Americans, but, we're just deep back there with your Scovilles and your Burkepacks. And, we've added, 4 or 5 Division I transfers that have played a lot of college hockey. We're not talking about freshman, sophomore transfers. We're talking about junior, senior transfers and guys that have played in really good hockey leagues. So it's, what was already a veteran team, we feel like we've added some of those key heavy pieces with great college hockey experience at another level. And we hope that translates well for us.
Yeah, no doubt. And, one of the guys that's returning it is Brian Landsberger. He's coming back in net for you. I'm presuming that he's the starter for the year.
Yeah, it's Lands' net to have, and he's looked just terrific. He's a laser focused kid, and he wanted that net last year. When we went with Dixie, and by no means was it Dixie's. He played great. You give up a shorthanded breakaway, and you're out of the tournament. It's crazy.
Right.
Really 1-0 game. So Dixie moves on, and Lands has been chomping at the bit, and he's 6'6". He's huge, and he's enthusiastic. He lives great. He's a character kid, and we're really, really happy to hand the reins to him and see how far he can take us. Avery's, we have 2 freshmen coming in. Avery's sniffing the net as well. He's coming out of Maine, North American Hockey League, and will he get his time? He certainly will. We'll get his feet wet as well. But it's Lanz's net this year, and we're really pumped up to see how he performs consistently in the net more times than he's ever been before.
Yeah, you know what really impressed me about him last year when he was filling in for Dixie, when Dixie was injured there, as a freshman, to put up the numbers that he did, and he didn't seem to be overwhelmed by the moment.
Yeah, we put tremendous pressure on him at Wilkes. I remember, a tough road trip down there against, 17, 18 seniors they had last year, a few All-Americans, and he kept us in it. And we came off that bus just with the worst bus legs ever. We're flat for 2 periods, and if it wasn't for him, that game would have been out of hand. And he allowed us to stay in it, and we came away with a shootout win, I believe. So it was, he was the difference. He was by far the MVP of that game, and for us to host the playoffs and win that was such a turning point for us. They were hungry to get us and hopefully host playoffs, but we were able to do it, and Landsberg deserves all the credit for that.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. So I want to get back to we were talking a little bit about tournaments earlier, especially with the Thanksgiving Classic. And out of curiosity, how long does it take to put something like that together as far as, getting your opponent set? And because that's obviously something that doesn't happen overnight.
But it's a couple of years out, and it's a funny question. It almost feels like it's loaded, like you guys know something. But
I don't really.
Yeah,
Jeremy.
Yeah, we're really ticked off at a college hockey team that ended up bagging the tournament just 4 weeks ago. So a nationally ranked opponent that's been here, I think 5 years. They've come and out of the blue, he called and said, we're not coming up. And so that really handcuffed us. We invited everybody possible, including the national teams, the Division I independents. And at that late in the year, you just can't pick up a team. So we're actually just hosting, a 3 a round robin tournament right now, which is disappointing because it is such a great tournament. So it's us, Plymouth, and Trine. Trine is coached by Alex Todd, who's a former assistant of mine. Alex did a great job resurrecting Castleton with his job out of here, and then he went into the Division I ranks and made a real good run at Omaha, Nebraska, Omaha there before taking it and starting the Trine program. And I think they were a 16-17 win season last year. So he's coming in hungry, and those are special moments. I always remember beating Phil Grady, the guy who taught me, my mentor, and Alex come in here hungry. When you can beat the guy who was brought you into the game, there's a little special edge to that. So
right,
he'll have these guys ready, and in the end, we're playing a Plymouth that's in the national tournament most every year, and Trine that just was outside of the field last year, and we'll be sniffing that first bid ever in their program. So it's a quality weekend for us, nonetheless.
Student versus the teacher, you gotta love it.
Yeah, for sure.
So just out of curiosity, where is Trine out of?
Indiana.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're the only team out of Indiana, but they are really close to like an Adrian, a St. Norbert. Like they're just right at that top corner there. And, you won't miss Alex. Alex is a big redheaded kid, big boy that likes having his beers, and we'll have a couple. But when that puck drops, it's going to be a monster weekend, and he knows it. So to invite him, he jumped at it. And to go full circle on your question, we've already got St. John's from Minnesota coming in next year. They've been out before. Oswego is sniffing coming into that tournament. Amherst, like the invites are out, and we hope to have that sealed up this week.
That's really cool. That is. And it wasn't intended to be a loaded question, believe me. But I do, as far as tournaments go, I do have a question, though, as far as that goes. You said Oswego. So I was wondering if it was ever a possibility that the tournament could be like a New York State D3 tournament. So because you have Hamilton College right down the road. That you got Oswego, Cortland, Morrisville. So I was just out of curiosity, do you think that something like that could ever happen?
Yeah, I think the idea has actually been floated, and it's one that Oswego would love to have. Utica would love to have. I think if you asked our Cortland, Morrisville, they'd love to have it. Unfortunately, that little school that I went to up on the hill wants nothing to do with playing Utica anymore. So, that invite's been out, and for whatever reason, their philosophy is not to play Utica University, and so that kills the idea. And those were just tremendous games, great games. Loved those games. Loved packing the Clinton Arena with Utica University fans. Loved packing Sage Rink with Utica University fans. So it's a shame. We'd love to get them back, and publicly, the open invites there. We'd love to have them.
Yeah, that would be.
I guess that's shots fired, huh? But the puck's on their end now. How come?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, here comes the clapper from the Utica end right there. But the Utica University, that transition started last season, right towards the end, and now obviously it's in full effect this season. So it's kind of a silly question, but it's one I got to ask. Does the fact that it's Utica University now affect anything as far as the program goes, other than merchandise, or is it just business as usual?
Yeah, it's pretty business as usual. I think the biggest difference there is your international students. When you say college in Canada, if you say I went to Hamilton College, they think that's a community college. So colleges are known as 2-year schools internationally. So it's really only the States where college is a 4-year institution. And so, that really helps in the translation of recruiting international kids. And then obviously offering doctoral degrees is what qualifies you for university status. And, we're lucky enough that our faculty are just tremendous, and we offer just a number of doctoral degrees now. So university fits for us, and there's no question. Every time, I got this one right, but most times I'm still saying Utica College, and that's okay. There's traditions there, and I get asked that. Are we still going to say, UC in the national anthem chant? And I hope our fans do, because it is still tradition, and we value those traditions. It's who we are. It's who we were. And we're proud of that. So, when it rolls off your tongue, Utica College, we're not offended. I'll be saying it all year, and probably for many years to come. So, yeah.
That's good, because when I was writing the recaps and all that and I had to hit that backspace button a lot, because it's not college anymore.
Yeah, you just got lucky. I'm wearing the new memorabilia, but of course, I didn't get rid of all my stuff. So.
Right.
Probably 4 to 5 days. I'm still wearing a UC until the school wanted to give me the budget to replace it all. Yeah.
There you go. Well, I'm sure they're going to have plenty for sale at the Adirondack Bank Center during the games.
Yeah, we are. We actually we've got a boatload of stuff that's in, and a lot more coming in tomorrow. We'll take the opportunity. We've got our first ever really kids fire sale on Saturday. So you'll be able to get a T-shirt, shorts for $20 for your kids.
Oh, cool.
And then we got, for the first time ever, full tracksuits, Utica University tracksuits for kids. And you can get a full tracksuit for just $40. So we're going to fire sale that stuff. I think we got 2,000 of those items. And for $20, you get a T-shirt, shorts. So let's fill the Christmas trees with those items.
Yeah, I like it.
Absolutely.
There it is. My Christmas shopping list is complete. Awesome. For the first time ever, I'll be done in October.
I can say my son won't have to ask. Thank God.
Yeah, there you go. There is no choice anymore.
Yeah.
So, with the Adirondack Bank Center, of course, it's an advantage for the Pioneers to have a facility like that to play in. And with that facility comes, I'm sure, an advantage that probably not a lot of other teams have, and that's the herd. So,
yeah, I mean, the herd is, the herd came about just last year, and quite frankly, it's a bunch of football guys that got together and decided to create this group and just really get the campus community involved, the student body involved for the first time. We've had the luxury, guys, as you know, of really not having to lean on our students for a fan base, which is really unique, right, in the college.
Sure.
So we've never marketed towards kids because it's always been a townie, if you will, crowd for us. But when the herd approached us, we went out and bought those guys T-shirts, and they were a welcome addition. And as much as they grabbed the attention of the opposing team, the opposing coaches, I assure you, when we're at coaches' conventions in April, there's coaches saying, man, they were a pain in the you-know-what, but I love it. It was just fun. It was great for my team, and it added an atmosphere that you just don't see anywhere else. So as crazy as the odd has been, the herd has been a welcome addition. And we've actually got a designated student section because those guys just kind of elbowed their way in and they found a place. So this year, right next to the penalty box is a designated student section.
Okay. So I was going to say, they were right behind the visitors bench last year. Boy, that created some really, really interesting situations.
sitting right with me, and it was pretty intense some nights.
Yeah,
and I mean, it was funny.
Right there.
It was years. It's been years where I would like get on the refs and get on the coaches and get on the teams, and all of a sudden I just kind of sat back and I went, "Wow, I don't have to do this anymore. I kind of like this."
Yeah. I mean, it's very rare that I notice any fans, and those guys caught my attention on occasion. So they were very entertaining, and we're lucky to have those guys. Yeah,
yeah, it is. It's awesome because So Josh Giggs wants to know how Drake Barnish is looking.
Yeah, Barnish is, he's one of these NA3 kids. He's a tier 3 kid, and I don't have to say anything more than like Connor Landrigan was a tier 3 kid. Osmondson's a tier 3 kid. Monkovich is a tier 3 kid. So, we've kind of made a name for ourselves of finding these diamonds in the rough, on a level that most quality Division 3 programs don't recruit, a tier 3 level. And we do, we rattle those bushes and try and find those diamonds. And so Barnish was our guy this year that we brought in. He's a huge kid with put up just monster numbers last year with Cincinnati. And he's working hard. The challenge with a tier 3 kid is the speed and the caliber of play is so drastic, the difference.
Yeah.
That's just the adjustment takes longer. And sometimes that adjustment is into your sophomore year. So, for instance, Woody for us last year, he got his feet wet in like 6-7 games, I'm saying,
Yep.
ballpark. And he just had to adjust. And this year, Woody's looking great. He is. So it takes those guys some time. But he's a big kid with good hockey vision. Love his size, his mitts. He can score. He's working his tail off. He's a humble human. So I would bet on him. We may not see him early as much as Cincinnati fans want to see him, but I think he's going to get there.
Very good. Very good. Any other new faces we should know about coming in?
Well, I mean, there's definitely the hometown kid, Gut. When I say hometown, he played for the Junior Comets. He's a Jersey kid, but he led them in scoring last year, and he's a little wiry, dynamic player. So we committed him 2 years ago. So we get the luxury of seeing those teams come through here. Like Buster played for that team as well, and we'd be nuts if we can't grab their best player every other year. It's a luxury we have with that team. So he's a kid that seems to be fitting in well with our top 6, top 9 forwards. And the transfers are getting some time as well. We got Bro, who's going to get some chance to play with Buster and Cavi early. So he's a kid that came out of University of Fairbanks. He's a transfer out of Montreal. It's strange note there. His dad played for the Utica Devils back in the day.
Really?
So there was a little connection there, which is pretty cool. There's a big kid, Herman, that played at UNH 3 years. He's coming in as a senior transfer out of Buffalo, New York, and he's a monster human. He's like 6'3", 2 1/4. We've got him with Zapata. So, I mean, that's just a heavy line.
Yeah, it's a very heavy line. That's a very heavy line.
The list goes on. I mean, the transfers, we're lucky enough that portal was just full of 150 guys, and we're not just taking a D1 guy because he's a D1 guy. We're taking a guy that we think can really, help us, and the guy that's a little disgruntled because he's coming from a not so successful team, and there's a reason they're trying to turn their team over. Not that he can't play. So we really think these are Division I caliber players that can get us over that hump that we've been stuck on the last couple of years.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's. Well, and again, but it's the advantage that Utica has: a tremendous facility, tremendous tradition of a winning program. That's got to help you out big time.
Yeah, teams, especially these D1 guys, they want to play in. Talking about Herman, he's playing in Hockey East. So he's playing in BC and BU and Providence, and he's used to big buildings and playing in front of 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. So he doesn't want to take a step back his senior year, but he does want to win. So he wants to win, have that big-time college atmosphere, and that's a luxury we have and can offer him.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Jerry, you got anything else to add?
I mean, looking ahead, which, I hate looking ahead, and I know you do too as well, Coach. But this year with the tournament going into the NCAA tournament, it's a little different this year, isn't it? It's the home sites.
Yeah, so there's a heck of an opportunity to host the tournament, and I think it's a really cool thing that Division III did. every other year, the number one seed basically will be granted, the Frozen Four going into the state tournament. So do we think we can compete for that seed? Yeah, of course we do. Will this coming weekend dictate that? It very may well.
Right.
So if us or Adrian were to sweep that season series, there's a very good chance that you're going to be the number one seed. So it's a great. Would I love to have it here? Of course I would. Is it even better that you earn that right? 100%. We're slotted to host it in 2026. That's already designated for us. I'm not sure we'll be at that level in 2026. But the chance to host it here, to earn that right, would be really special for us and our fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That really is. Coach, we're nearing the end of our time here, but I got just a couple off the wall questions for you to close out with. So last time when we were at Bride's Illegal Stick, you had mentioned your connection to pro wrestling. So what I want to know is, which Pioneer this year would make the best pro wrestler, and would you manage him?
Well, I'm managing him already, right? So, and to be, that's so hard, to name one, because I think we got just a lot of characters, like Acosta, he could be that, that little wiry midget wrestler, and then, you got Buster, who's 6'6", the Swede, so you could have some European flavor there. Like I say, you got Herman, who's just a monster, 6'3". You're looking for guys that could be, George the Animal Steel or the Iron Sheik, guys like that in my era. That I used to grow up and love. But we've got a great group of kids and a great cast of characters, and it makes our locker room. I really like this group and the leadership, and I think you guys should expect some great things. That's our expectations this year. And I know you got Coach Clausen coming in, and he's the same. He's got a big veteran team that's got high expectations, and I think you're going to see them earn their first tournament bid this year. And so we wish them well, and I appreciate you guys throwing me a vine tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Going to be in the booth for any Comets games this year?
Yeah.
All right.
Obviously they pulled back their TV schedule by quite a bit, but the invite is there, and it was something to pass the time during the crazy COVID days. And I really enjoyed my time. Jason Shai is a super guy and become a good friend. And if the night's open and I can get in there, I'd love to do it. It was just fun watching hockey and talking. It doesn't get any better than that.
Oh, absolutely not. And you're right.
As long as the power stays on.
Yeah. We'll figure that out. Yeah.
I do have to ask you, have you ever experienced anything like that in your career at all?
That actually happened to us in, I want to say 2010 here. We're playing the U.S. national team. We lost that game 10-1. Vinny Nucci had the only goal. But the lights went out in the second period, and there was a good half-hour, 45-minute delay. And I remember the U.S. head coach, Kurt, big, long German name. He was so mad. I mean, he was like, let's just go. Like, this is just a, show, and let's just get out. We had to just beg him to stay. And finally, somebody found that plug that was unplugged and plugged it back in. The lights came on, and, we went on to get our butts kicked. But that's the other game to keep an eye on. We're lucky enough to play the national team December 10th up there. And, they're always full of draft picks. It's been a lot of fun. And, we're lucky enough to say we got a winning record versus those guys. So, we're looking forward to that opportunity.
Awesome. That is awesome. Well, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and talk to us. We really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to have you on.
Let's do it a regular thing. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Good luck this season, and thank you again. We appreciate it.
Take care.
All right. See you, Coach. Coach Gary Heenan. That was awesome. That really was. Always entertaining when he comes on.
Always. He's without a doubt the greatest human I think I've ever met, like just personally and even professionally, and the way he coaches and the way he handles things is just, he's a great guy.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll tell you, this Pioneers team, they really could make a lot of noise this year. I truly believe that.
They can, it's like I said, it's a very veteran team. Not only with the transfers coming in, but even with the guys that, that are there. And, it's going to be a very fun, interesting year to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just, like I said, I can't wait to get the puck dropped. I just can't.
Well, I mean, some of the boys, even, I still talk to some of the guys, and they're excited to get it going. They can't wait. They're just chomping. They just want to start playing. Like Gary said, they want to hit somebody else. They want to go play real hockey. So
Yeah,
we'll wait and see.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Jared, what we're going to do is this. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And then when we come back, we are going to cover the Utica Pioneers women's team with their head coach, Dave Clausen. So we're going to take that commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Visit My Little Falls and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the city and the area. Our mission is to generate interest in the community and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes store, listen to our country music streaming radio station, or sign up for our weekly newsletter. Stop by today at mylittlefalls.com. You'll be glad you did.
And we're back with segment 2. So like I said, we are going to cover the Utica Pioneers women's hockey team preview. While we're waiting for Coach Clausen to come in, I think we forgot to mention that the men are playing an exhibition game this weekend. Not sure if we mentioned that or not.
We did.
Did we? Oh, well, see, then I'm losing my mind, man.
I think we did.
Well,
I know we said.
Yeah.
I know we had. We mentioned the tune-up. Like he said, tune-up game. But
Yeah,
he
mentioned it.
He did. Yeah, he mentioned tune-up game.
oh, okay. Well, it's this Saturday anyway, 7:00. It's
Not home.
At the
Not
Adirondack.
home.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Home.
No,
It is home.
I was going to say it's at the Adirondack Bank
Yeah,
Center.
it's
So-
at DBC. Yeah.
Yep,
And
they're
then
playing
they're on the road.
Potsdam. That's right. That's 7:00 game, and again, hopefully, what happened Monday night does not happen again. 'Cause we were both there Monday night, and that was interesting.
Let me tell you, for having it, be so dark out and having the power literally go off, it was a matter of seconds when all the cell phone lights came on, and it was
Yeah,
we were able to see everything.
it was awesome.
Which,
Actually,
it was different. It was definitely different. But you turned around and it was jet black. So
yeah, all right. But it's like I said, because I was there with my wife and kids, and you were there working the ice crew, and it's like I said to them, I'm like, listen, this is history, right?
oh yeah,
I mean,
oh, yeah.
this is something we'll never forget. So, I mean, I wasn't complaining at all. I thought it was actually pretty cool. But when everybody turned those cell phone lights on, I'm going to go right back to pro wrestling. I was expecting to hear the Undertaker's gong. I was waiting for it. I'm like, this has got to be a part of it, right? I almost text you. Is the Undertaker down there? Is he?
Well, it was weird. The Monday night's game was, if anybody didn't know, it was 35 years to the day of when the Utica Devils played. 35 years
exactly.
ago Monday. So now if that happened in 35 years ago, nobody had cell phone lights.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
nothing would have been lit up.
Right.
It
Right.
would have just been black.
Hey, chalk one up for modern technology. Okay. Well, anyways, like I said, this segment is dedicated to the Utica Pioneers women's team, and we are going to go over their 2022-23 season, and we can pick a better guest to talk about that. We got their head coach, Dave Clausen. Coach, how are you?
Great, guys. How are you guys?
Good coach.
Fantastic. Thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Oh, no,
So-
my pleasure. Happy to be here.
So I'm sure you got to be ready to go. I mean, off season's over, but how was your off season?
You know what? It was good. It's probably the most enjoyable off season I've had since like 2019. Got a little bit of certainty, right, for the first time in a while. Went back. We knew when practices were going to be. We're fortunate. We have a pretty veteran team. We've got some young spots, but excited. So it's just things where with older kids, it's a little bit easier. probably the most stressful things I've got are just supply chain, getting jerseys in on time for games and order. So I got to be honest. Yeah, life's been good. We'll see. Hopefully the power stays on for our game on on Saturday night. I'm sure they're on it. It's a great place. Those guys are awesome down there, and certainly we're fortunate with the venue. But wow, it's an incredible story, huh?
Oh, absolutely,
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. It was a great experience, like we were just talking. I mean, I can't complain. It was history. We'll never forget that. But you make a great point that we even haven't talked about forever. I mean, this is the first normal season in 2 years.
It's been a while, and it's neat, right? Like juniors, they haven't experienced a normal,
right.
start dates and being able to walk in a locker room and not have masks and not have to, okay, we can use the bathroom and shit. You know what I mean? Like it was, crazy stuff. Right. And so, without having, a massive amount of stress on who's going to pass their COVID test this week. It's been a really smooth move into preseason for us. And, we're certainly looking forward to the opening of Nexus and the rinks and the facilities down there. So that's, probably been a little bit of a strain on us, but, it's a little, as a coach, right, a little early season adversity is never a bad thing.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, you guys had a fantastic season last season, just amazing. And you completed your 21st season by winning 21 games and setting the school record, which is lucky number 21. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't go play blackjack, because I would have. I know that.
Just saying I didn't. Listen, last year's a great year. We had a veteran crew. I've been fortunate, right? Like, I think I spent the first 18 or 19 years of my career saying, oh, well, we're young, we're this, we're that. And you're bringing in more freshmen than you're graduating every year. And I've been able to say, last year, because of COVID, we were a veteran and nobody lost the year before, and we didn't have anyone leave. Like, we were in a really good spot. And then from last year's team, up front, we only graduated one player, who was an impact kid, obviously, and Becky Brown, fantastic player. We graduated a couple on the back end, and Savannah and Net, but we've got a good freshman class we're excited about. And, the core, our top couple of lines, really come back intact. And, so we had a tremendous scoring season. It's always fun, right, as a coach, to win games, but win games when you're, not nail biting 1-0, we're scoring a lot of goals. And to have a lot of those points back and the veteran leadership that comes with those kids, it makes my job a little bit easier. We'll find out when the games start if I'm right, but right now, things are smooth and we're excited.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Your fantastic season did not go unnoticed either, because the voters seem to like your team. You're ranked number 2 in the preseason UCHC poll. You just missed the top 15 for the USCHO poll. Tell me, does just missing that top 15 put a little chip on your shoulder going into the season, saying, you know what, we deserve to be in that top 15?
You know what? This might not be the popular thing, but I'm just not a polls guy. I think we play hockey, and I don't think we were ranked much last year at all, right? And
right, yeah.
Granted, like we lost. I think we lost 3 out of 4 at the end of the season. We got swept at home our last weekend. After an overtime loss to Naz, we had a final home regular season game, which was a send-off party to our seniors, right? Like, it didn't matter in the stands, didn't matter for anything. We enjoyed ourselves that day, but we got our butts kicked. And then we won our first playoff game, but we're upset in the second round, which was frustrating. So, I mean, I think we were sitting at 20-3. And I don't know. We might have been. I don't think we were ranked, or we might have been ranked, but not highly. So, right. It's like homecoming king to me. It's prom queen. It's popularity.
Sure. Yeah.
And we're bigger fans. I'm a bigger fan of like the pairwise, where I know we finished last year, I think, right around 10 in the country, which is it's a math based opponents, ranked opponents, those types of stuff. but it's one day at a time. We're trying to win the next game. Goal number one is to qualify for the postseason in our league, to be a 500 team. Then you're trying to get home ice in your league for multiple rounds, win your league regular season, win your league postseason, get yourself qualified for the NCAA tournament, and go from there. So you kind of have for us, it's like steps and goals. And I think you look at rankings, especially the kids. We have young kids, right? They're college age kids. You look at the rankings, you see you're ranked. Oh, we're great. Ooh, and then you get knocked off. Right. You think you're not ranked. Oh, we're not ranked. Oh, we're gonna go get them. And then you go out and whatever. So I said a little early season, motivation and adversity is good. So if being unranked makes our young women upset and fired up to go prove something, well then let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, you mentioned early season adversity and all that. I don't know if it's adversity, but boy, I tell you, you got a tough opening draw here for even in your exhibition season. You're playing a game against the number 11th ranked. I know you're not a big polls guy, but I do have to mention it. Norwich, you're playing them in an exhibition game. Mm-hmm. And you're also, so then when you open up your regular season, you're playing at Elmira, who's ranked 4th. So as a team, how do you prepare for such a big challenge that early?
Yeah, I think people have different views on the exhibition games. We're excited about them, and certainly I laugh again. I laugh a lot apparently. But we're going to go in and we're going to address every player on our roster, with the exception of goalies that aren't going to play those games. We're going to split up playing time. I expect the players to go out there and bust their humps and try and win those games. But as a coach, we're not necessarily trying to win those first two. We want to see what we got. We want to see who can play with who. I mean, putting line combinations together this time of year is a big deal, and we can do them in practice. But to do it against a team like the one that we're playing in our exhibition seasons, Can's a great team loaded with a bunch of Canadian players, new coach, new Division I coach. Like, they're going to be a really good team this year, I think. And then Norwich is a perennial powerhouse, perennial, highly ranked team. I think last year we actually finished ahead of them at the end of the year in the rankings. Mm-hmm. But those are two tough ones. And then obviously a week later, a little different attitude going down to Elmira. That one counts. Right. And that's always been a rivalry for us. It's not a league opponent anymore. Unfortunately, that's kind of sad for us because we've had some real battles with them and whatnot. But great measuring stick for us out of the gates. And again, hey, little adversity early, never killed anybody. And certainly we can challenge ourselves and see what we're capable of and where we need to improve if things don't go well. And then we roll right into league play, and we've got one of the biggest league schedules in the country with 20 league games. So there's a lot of work there. And then we certainly challenge ourselves in non-conference with the likes of, Elmira and Hamilton College and Oswego, who are all ranked type teams as well. I think all of them in the top 10 at points in time last year when we talk about rankings, and then Worcester State, it's coached by an alum, and Morrisville's been in the NCAA tournament in the last few years. So we got some good opponents, and we're excited about the schedule, excited about the team. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, because we were just talking about that with Coach Heenan, that actually having a tough schedule does help towards the end of the year, because when you're looking at NCAA bids and seedings, that's going to help if you're playing quality opponents. They really do look at that. Last season,
a big part of that selection process is your strength of schedule and your record versus ranked opponents. So you got to play ranked opponents, and you got to have some success, and you got to have a tough schedule. And certainly, like, we've done a pretty good job with that. Nobody's better than Coach Heenan with that. He's certainly got a fantastic schedule, fantastic team this year. So I'm excited for our team, but hey, on our days off, I'm going to be excited to watch Gary's team play as well.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fantastic overall season of Utica hockey. There's just no doubt about that. So last season, you had the top ranked offense in the entire Division III. So do you expect that to continue this year?
I certainly hope so.
I know that was kind of a loaded question, but
yeah. Make things real nice. If you go out there with one of the top offenses in the country. I certainly think we're going to be pretty good on the offensive side. I don't want to. I mentioned Becky Brown losing her to graduation, and that's a 16-goal player. Not a lot of 6'1"
Tough loss.
women's players that can fly around the rink.
Right. Yeah.
She was pretty complete. Thinking Eric Lindros or Keith Prumo back in the day in my era of hockey.
Exactly.
Those are nice to have. But our ultimately was our top line second half of the season for us last year was Santulo, Georgie Santulo, Erica Sloan, and Carly Stefanini, and those three are back. And I think that there's, I think last year they set Santulo and Sloan both would have set the single season scoring record. And I think I want to think Georgie Santulo, she edged out Sloan by a couple points as line mates. You'd never know it. Those two celebrated everything together with regard to the scoring records and whatnot. But, anytime in a 25-game regular season schedule, you got two kids putting up 50 points and another one right around 40 or just over 40 on a line. That's a line that's scoring 2 goals a game. That puts us in a pretty good spot. And then, we have depth, where I'm sitting with two of our other players, Carolyn Whitney and Maggie Rylot, who have been fantastic scorers and all league type players as well. And, do we play them together? They both can play center. We have the supporting cast to have, 3 lines that could, you could roll out there on power play situations because they're so offensively upside, talented, veteran type kids and kids around them. Or you play them together. We have some options, and I certainly, I think the thing. Sorry about that. That's my phone going off. I think the Phillies giving up another run. Yep. So
we'll think of it as a goal horn.
Yeah, and I think last year we had a great fourth line. Right, our fourth line had like 18 goals, 19 goals last year in a 25-game schedule. So I mean,
That's huge.
There's a lot of places where they wish their second line had that kind of production, and so to do that with the minutes that they're getting, we just have, we're blessed right now. I think a lot of it has to do. I talked about the odd and the facilities just being awesome. The campus at Utica is great. Our culture is fantastic. We're our kids host recruits, and the recruits fall in love. With the town, the kids, the rink, the facilities, certainly not me. And we're off and running and having a good time. So it's just, we're blessed. We got some great forwards. We have a really good back end as well. Scoring comes there. And then, we had a first team all conference goalie last year as well. And when you have that, you're not too worried about the 2-on-1 coming back the other way sometimes, which also helps with the scoring.
Right. Oh, no doubt about it. It opens everything up because that's when you can depend on your goaltending that much. It's a huge advantage. You're right. How about some of the new faces that are coming in this year? Who can we look for this year?
Yeah, I think we've got 3 that are going to probably be every day, every game players. So you can hear my dog begging for dinner right now.
I thought that was Jeremy.
I'm sorry.
No.
Casey Ryder is going to jump in for us up front. Today in practice, she was center in our third line. We got a couple of bumps and bruises. But she looks, like a scorer that she was, when we recruited her. And usually kids takes a year to adjust to the college game and the physicality and the speed. And, you can't beat every defenseman. In fact, most of the D that you play against were the best D you were playing against on the other team last year.
Come on, puppy, get some dinner.
Sorry, I get distracted. Casey's going to fit right in for us up front. A little bit undersized, which I think is the only reason why she's at Utica. But great speed, real smart, real skilled player. So we're excited about her. And then on the back end, we have Tess Baird, who, is a big shot, good skating defenseman, real smart, moves the puck and kind of fits in with our offensive philosophy. And, I think gives us, another real weapon on the back end, both ways, responsible and good. And then we have a third player, Kelsey Elliott, which I think is going to slot in for us in the back end. But it's a great kid, flexible, and has played some forward in her day. And just watching us in practice, I mean, she's one of our 2 or 3 fastest kids on the ice. So those 3, I'm looking for a big impact from them. And then we've got a goalie, Breeze Brunking, who's New England prep school kid, but originally from Binghamton. So 315, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
It's 607, I think.
607.
Close. Close.
It's a neighbor.
Yeah, exactly.
But she's a big kid, and she's coming in. She should get some minutes at some point this season. We're pretty fortunate with Angela in that right now. But as she develops, I think there's potential for her to play a pretty big role in the future for us.
Excellent. Well, I'll tell you, the schedule says that November 18th, you're going to be playing your first game at the Nexus Center. And then it looks like for the rest of the schedule, it's going to be like a half and half for home between the Adirondack Bank Center and the Nexus Center.
Yeah.
Got to be looking forward to finally seeing that Nexus Center complete, though, aren't you?
You know what? It's been obviously a long time coming. And hang on one second, guys. Hey,
sure.
Just take them outside for me, bud. Sorry, we're gonna let the dog out.
I actually feel bad. I'm sorry.
Poor puppy.
It's not me.
It is Jeremy.
It's Jeremy's fault.
It's not me. It's not me.
Gotta be.
Why do you think I brought you back on the show?
Don't let the dogs out.
We were talking about Nexus and the Odd, and yeah, you know what? It's great. Listen, like, it's an amazing facility. There's 4 different rinks. I see our players on all of them, right? Over the years, we're going to have some games that are going to be big. We're going to want to play them at the Odd. You know, I got to walk around Nexus Center. What a beauty. Like, I mean, you got to have a little bit of an immaginationand I'm not the most artsy person. You know, so I remember walking around the first time and I'm like, what's going on? I get, you know, there was no wallboard. It was themes, and I'm like, modern art, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know what? I'm like, no, it's beautiful. I don't know what it is.
Am I at the Munson Williams? What's going on here?
Yeah. And then I was around it I went in a couple weeks ago and I toured around and I was blown away. Like, you can, I mean, obviously you can now see a hockey rink. You can see suites. You can see where scoreboards are going to be and restaurants and bars. And, you know, I know where I'm going to get my Utica coffee in the mornings. You know, where our locker room's going to be. It's just going to be, you know, it's going to be a premier facility. Not just for us, but that didn't work putting the dog out. Didn't work.
He just wants to be part of the interview, Coach. That's all.
Bring him on. Yeah. Get him on camera.
Yeah, like, I mean, I see as word gets out, you know, like across the Northeast and, you know, the tournaments that potentially are going to be here, the teams that are going to want to roll in and play. What a great thing for us. What a great thing for the area. I know that with the junior comments in the NCDC program that they've had there, been a huge advantage for Gary. He's had some good players out of there, but you know, every other weekend he can just sit in the stands there at the Odd and do some recruiting as premier junior teams and NCDC junior teams roll into town. And you know, we're seeing some 12U and 14U Comets girls, and then there's a good team over in Rome, a really, really good team over in Rome right now, with some local players. And so we're just, you know, we're excited about being able to, hey, I'll walk out of my office, grab a seat, and watch some really good hockey and do a little bit of recruiting right there. The facility, the impact I think that it can make for the programs, you know, I don't have words right now. I mean, my wildest imagination, I think it's going to probably exceed. So yeah, listen, I feel like the luckiest guy in the world. You asked me how I was doing when I got on there, and
yeah, that's excellent. And you know, that Nexus Center is going to be holding a ton of tournaments too. So yeah, I want to ask you real quick. So you guys are playing Morrisville, you're playing Hamilton College, you're playing Oswego. Would there ever possibly be a tournament involving the D3 Central New York women's teams? Maybe sometime down the road. Obviously,
yeah, you know what? I think that's certainly something that's in the cards. You know, whether it's all Central New York teams, Lamonto was a former assistant. She was the first captain of the Utica women's hockey team down at Morrisville. There's a connection. We're on the phone pretty regularly, and we've certainly talked about it and considered, trying to do it for this year. In hindsight, Nexus isn't open until November, and we were hoping to kick the season off with it. So it might not have been the greatest plan. But I would imagine in the near future, we'll be hosting some sort of a tournament over there in the Nexus Center. It's going to be just, I think, one of the premier Division III women's hockey facilities in the country right now. I mean, and certainly with the odd and everything, I mean, on par with any facilities, right? At any level in college hockey. Certainly a place where people are going to come in and play and look forward to coming to play us, as much as they like playing at home. So, yes, I would imagine you can see some tournaments. And yeah, whether it's Morrisville, Oswego, Hamilton, Elmira, Portland, there's some great teams in New York, and potentially too. Listen, Nexus would be a great place to host. Even the next level up, I could see Colgate wanting to do something there or whatnot, and building that way as well. So, tremendous facility.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, no problem. But like I said, Coach, you got a heck of a team put together there this year, and we got all the faith in the world you're going to put some noise out there this year, because you really do. You got a very good squad. Josh says, I believe the New York girls.
Also, Nexus is going to have, I think they're going to be the home for many of the games for that Clinton girls high school team as well. And I could see as well.
Actually, I did hear, I've heard that, because I guess they've been scheduled out of the arena apparently.
It's just literally somebody cued me at the bottom of the screen here, like there was a little came across, and it reminded me. But I could imagine seeing not just on the girls side, but the boys as well.
Boys, yeah.
High school tournaments in there, and even a section tournament, possibly state tournaments. I mean, used to be at the odd years ago. Yep. And certainly with Nexus, what a perfect size facility, seats wise. Buddy, relax. I know you're there. Here's my sandwich. Eat that.
Hey, whatever works.
Listen, this is you guys. I was a little late getting on. The Phillies are on. I'm from Philly originally.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My kids are huge Phillies fans, so we like homemade cheesesteaks, and mine's sitting here on the table, and that's what the dog wants. So,
and you gave it to him?
Wait. He's not.
I feel bad. I didn't realize you were a big Phillies fan.
Yeah, no, huge. I'm from Philly originally, so Flyers, undefeated out of the gate. Ooh,
out of nowhere. Torch is working the magic.
And then the Eagles are doing pretty good too. So yeah, good time to be a Philly sports fan right now.
I guess so.
Yeah. Won't last.
Dave's from Texas, if that means anything to you. So that's
we'll drive that team right to the ground.
Talking to just about all of my friends around here are, Mets, Yankees. I don't know why there's Cowboys fans up here, but there seem to be.
There's tons of them.
There's tons of
there's everywhere.
And I was joking with some Mets fans over the weekend that, normally, right, I don't get a ton of joy out of the Phillies, but I do get joy out of the Mets losing every year. And that. And now the Phillies have gone farther than the Mets. And again, it's good to be me tonight. I'm feeling good. So
that is awesome. That is awesome.
Go Cowboys.
Exactly right.
So little things in life that have to make you happy, and sometimes it's when the Cowboys and the Mets lose.
There you go. You know what? We had a saying when Jeremy was on our old show. It's the little things.
We had to find.
We're waiting for them to get that one in. So
here we go.
Every single show I've done, you got to find a way to get in there.
We found it, Jeremy.
And Coach, you set it up perfectly for me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach.
Well, Coach, we'll let you get to that Phillies game. We want to thank you for coming on and spending.
It's going. I'm happy to stay on as long as you want.
What's the score?
Yeah, Padres are. We were up 4 and now we're down 4. So it's not.
Oh, wow!
Whoa.
Whoa, that's a big
man. The pendulum swings. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there was a 5-run inning. There was back-to-back 2-pitch home runs at one point. I think I missed a run here while I was on, but it's hey. We already won one on the road in San Diego. We're going to come home. Worst case, even. We win a couple games at home.
There you go.
And it's over, yeah.
And
Yeah.
if not, we've gone a heck of a lot farther than we expected to go. So,
You
which
ain't
is
getting
not
there.
any Phillies fan you have ever heard's attitude, right? Like,
Yeah.
we'll just go, man, they'll lose in the World Series, and we'll be like, they're a bunch of bums. They will. Phillies, the cheesesteaks and the soft pretzels.
Yeah, there's George. Yeah, you got a fellow Eagles fan right there.
I know. I was waiting for him. I was waiting for him to chime in.
No, listen, like, hey, I turn the TV on. It's Philly sports right now. I'm feeling good.
There
and
you
there's
go.
a lot of years where I'm like, I'm not turning the TV on. So
Yeah. Unplug it. But no, seriously, thank you so much for coming on and talk to us. We really appreciate it. So you open up your exhibition season this Friday at Canton. You're home this Sunday against Norwich, and that game is at 2 p.m., I believe the game starts.
2 o'clock Sunday afternoon. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be good.
Absolutely.
Like, Norwich is a great team. It'll be fun. If you don't like watching football on Sunday afternoon, get down to the Odd and watch UC. Or just bring your phone. You probably get the football game on your phone, but ours will be more exciting, I guarantee it.
There you go. I agree. I totally agree.
I'll be coming back from Schenectady, so I might be stopping in. So
absolutely stop in. And
absolutely.
they're like, and if you got to stay home to watch football, you can put the live stream on. Ray Biggs doing the play-by-play. It's
There you go.
Nice. There you go. Yeah,
I enjoy
like
doing video breakdown more when Ray did the games, and I get to listen to him as we so we'll see you guys on
definitely has a little flavor to it, that's
Absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely. He's the best.
Absolutely is. Absolutely. But yeah, like I said, we'll be there watching you guys this summer or this winter. We're going to be covering you for 315 hockey. And like I said, you got a fantastic squad and we know you're going to go far.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So, and you guys, awesome. Everything you guys have been doing, amazing. Certainly follower, and looking forward to a great year of hockey here in Central New York.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Coach, thank you once again. Like I said, well, best of luck to your Phillies. There's still time they can come back. So that's
not with that look.
yeah, right.
No, but
I better stop. I'm going to get banned pretty soon.
Peter once this year. I don't know that teams get to do that twice. So
Yeah. There you go. Oh boy.
Yeah.
time to go. You guys got the drum roll out.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Yeah, fuck, follow me on.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Take care. All right, that was Coach Dave Clausen. That was awesome. You know what? This is such the fun part of doing shows like this. You know, love talking about hockey, but when we get off into the tangents like that, I love it.
Oh,
I just do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is, but I'll tell you, Utica University, both programs are loaded for bear this year. They really are.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I think fans in the Utica, Rome, Central New York region are in for a real treat with both those programs.
Yeah.
So, guess what? We have got our schedule coming up, and then we're going to close the show out. So, like we always do in segment 2, we let the fans, the listeners, the viewers know what the heck is going on in Central New York hockey. So, without further ado, here it is. As you can see on the screen there is one game Thursday night, and I'm going to pull this up on my own personally because I can't quite see it from here. And let's see. The Utica Junior Comets are home. They're playing at 8:30. That's the premier team. They're playing the Hershey Cubs. And that's at the Adirondack Bank Center. So if you're not doing anything Thursday night, 8:30, go over and check them out. And let's go to the Friday games. Friday, Utica Junior Premier is playing the same team, the Hershey Cubs. That's at 1:30. D1 women, the Colgate, 6th-ranked Colgate Raiders. They are home against the Vermont Catamounts. Vermont's ranked 12th. That's going to be at the Class of 1965 Arena at 6 p.m. And let's see here. Friday night, the Utica Comets are at home at the Adirondack Bank Center against the Cleveland Monsters. That game's at 7 o'clock. And let's see. The Colgate men, they are playing Merrimack, and that's at the Volpe Athletic Complex at 7 p.m. in North Andover, Massachusetts. The Syracuse women's hockey team, they are playing Clarkson, and that's at the Adirondack Icebreaker Tournament. That's in Lake Placid. So I bet you that'd be a fun one to go to if you're in the Lake Placid area. That game's at 7 o'clock. Let's see. The Utica University women. We already talked about this. They're opening up on the road at Canton for an exhibition game. That's at 7:00. And then the Syracuse Crunch are at the Rochester Americans. That game is at 7:05.
Nobody cares about those two teams.
Well, listen, we're covering everybody, man. So
but nobody cares about the Crunch or the Americans.
Oh,
wow.
There it goes.
Wow. We are 315 hockey, Jared. Do the program.
I like starting fires.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Burning already.
Oh, boy. All right. So, Saturday. The Saturday graphic is up. Syracuse women, they're playing their second game of that tournament. This is going to be at 2:00 or at 5:00 against an opponent to be determined. Let's see. D3, the Oswego women, they are at home, and it looks like it's for an exhibition game against Nazareth. Colgate men, they are home. I'm sorry, the Colgate women, they are home for their second game against Vermont. Yeah, women, that's what I meant. I'm starting to run out of gas here. Give me a break. That's at 3:00 at the Class of 1965 Arena. The Rochester Americans are once again playing the Syracuse Crunch at the War Memorial at 7 p.m. The Colgate men are back at Mercyhurst. They are at 7 p.m. Let's see. The Oswego men, they are at home for an exhibition game. That looks like Catamount. Vermi was telling me about that. They're a Canadian junior club. Let's see. Excuse me. We already mentioned the Utica Pioneers. They are going to be at home for their exhibition game against Potsdam. Yes, Potsdam. Yep. And then let's see, our Utica Comets, they are on the road at the Providence Bruins. That game is at 7:05. Our Sunday games. Got one. got the one.
Jeremy, I've got this on a big monitor for him, and he has to look at his dinky little phone.
I can't see it from here. That's bad.
I don't know the glasses. What is wrong with you?
We haven't got the time to talk about that, my friend. Okay. We got the. That's enough out of both of you.
I haven't said anything.
Yeah.
Just let you go with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we got the one game.
I can see it right in front of me.
Yeah, well, I can't.
And
so
I still see you squinting on a phone.
I know, it's terrible.
And he's got his glasses on, too.
I know, it's terrible.
It's not working.
It's terrible. Anyways, just the one game. That's the Utica women. They are playing Norwich at the Adirondack Bank Center, like we already talked about, 2 p.m. If you get a chance, go check that game out. Well, this is fun. You should expand to the 607 area code. We're missing out on some great teams in Binghamton. Barry, I don't doubt that. But we have got so many teams to cover in the 315. I'm going to need to clone about 5 of myself and Vermi to do it. So until modern technology catches up with that, we'll work on it. How's that? Scott needs his wife to read the screen. Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that, actually. To be perfectly honest with you. And go ahead. I know you want to hit the button.
I like that touch.
You want me to start the music?
I thought he was going to hit the drum roll again.
No. I was going for the music.
I like that touch you added now. Now people can just chime right in and we can just see it. That's
just make fun of me. It's great. It's great.
I like that.
Anyways, Jeremy, thank you for coming back on. We hope to see you again on the show because it's always fun when you come on.
Yeah, schedule's tight, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I hear you there. I definitely hear you there. Anyways, we want to thank Coach Heenan and Coach Clausen once again for coming on. And it was, like I said, a fantastic show. And best of luck to the Utica Pioneers this season. All right. Thank you for listening. We will see you next Tuesday. We're back on our regular day next week at 7 o'clock here at 315 Hockey Live. Thanks for listening. And don't forget, check 315hockey.com every day for updated news and notes from Central New York hockey. Have a good one.